The invitation to St. Catherine's Medical Center's annual fundraising gala sat untouched on my kitchen counter for nearly a month before I finally chose to say yes. Black tie, silent auction, full luxury production. My neurosurgeon, Dr. Patricia Chin, had handwritten a note on the envelope. She wanted me there as a living example of outcome success, as she put it, after operating on my brain 3 separate times in a year and a half. She meant it as an honor, but I still had gauze under the neatly arranged curls I'd styled, and if I stood still too long, the floor still tilted like a ship deck. Part of me wanted to throw the invitation away. My family certainly would have told me not to bother. They've spent the last 2 years treating my medical emergencies like I was simply performing theatrics for attention. Maya always exaggerates. My younger sister Ashley would chirp to anyone willing to listen. 23. Pre-med at an elite university. Runs community volunteer programs. Has a mini celebrity presence online documenting her path to becoming a future physician. 50,000 followers applauding every study session and latte with textbook story. My parents bankroll her entire lifestyle. I, meanwhile, work from home, illustrating anatomy plates and surgical diagrams, choosing client load based on whether I'm between procedures or in physical therapy. No one in my family realizes that my drawings sit inside major medical teaching texts, that my freelance income is higher than both my parents' salaries put together. I never tell them, because if I succeed, it becomes their bragging rights. If I struggle, I'm dramatic. Last Thanksgiving, when I was actually in the ICU recovering from emergency tumor removal the size of a golf ball, my mother told relatives I had migraines and didn't feel like participating. Ashley missed me, apparently, but only long enough to joke at her graduation party that I'd manufactured a crisis to get sympathy. While she cut cake at a 5-star restaurant, I was home alone dealing with post-surgical complications, and my monthly assistance check to my parents was helping cover the champagne she was toasting with. My parents have never known those checks came from me. Anytime I tried to talk about the reality of my condition, the headaches, the vertigo, the numbness, my father would hold up Ashley's morning 5-mile runs like they were proof I simply lacked discipline. Exercise more. Sure, if only my brain tumor would cooperate. The medical opinions were unanimous. 4 different specialists told me that without repeated intervention, I had a high chance of stroke before turning 30. I was 27. The tumor was non-cancerous, yes, but dangerously placed, entwined around vital vessels. Every operation carried frightening risk. Every recovery felt like crawling back to life. And every time, my family behaved like I was getting a routine cavity filled. The gala invite, in a strange way, felt like the first moment someone had looked at me and said, "What you endured was real." Dr. Chin was the only person who had seen the entire battlefield up close. The shaking, the fear, the hospital rooms I entered without a single family member present. She spoke to me like I was more than a medical inconvenience, like I was a human being fighting a war. "You are extraordinary," she'd whispered after surgery number 3. "People should know what you survived." So I bought a dress that hid my medical ID bracelet, practiced standing in heels without losing balance, and decided to go. I didn't mention it to my family. There was no point. At 7 p.m., utterly drained from just getting ready, I walked into the ballroom. Crystal lights, physicians in tuxes, administrators in gowns, donors sipping champagne. Dr. Chin spotted me in seconds, her face brightening in a way that nearly made my throat close. "You made it," she said, hugging me with careful softness so she wouldn't press on the healing ridge behind my ear. "You look stunning." She guided me toward the section where the high-value auction items sat. "I want important people to understand the scale of what you went through," she explained. For the next hour, she introduced me to hospital executives, former surgeons, philanthropists. And she didn't minimize one detail. She endured 3 major craniotomies in 18 months, she told a retired neurosurgeon who had a hospital wing named after him. Tumor encasement of the middle cerebral artery. 1 millimeter off target and she wouldn't be here. He looked directly at me, not like a curiosity, but with respect. "How did you keep your mindset intact through all of that?" I didn't tell him about dissolving into panic on my apartment floor before each operation. or the days I wasn't sure I would wake up the next morning. I smiled. Expert hands make all the difference, I said. Dr. Chin touched my shoulder, proud. Like someone finally saw the version of me that lived underneath the scars. Ma always downplays things. She kept working through chemo and surgeries. She's a medical illustrator, a really good one. You've almost definitely seen her drawings. She did the neuroanatomy plates in the newest edition of Harrison's. The surgeon's eyebrows shot up. That was you. Those illustrations? That's extraordinary. I muttered a soft thank you. Feeling that familiar discomfort, I never got that kind of praise inside my own household. We moved through the ballroom inch by inch. A hospital executive complimented my grit. A neurology resident quizzed me about symptom progression like it was a Vivo exam. A philanthropist cornered me wanting to discuss funding for patient advocacy work. It all felt unreal, strangers recognizing the reality of what I'd survived more accurately than the people who shared my DNA. And then I heard her voice. Oh my God, Maya, Ashley, perfect hair, perfect lipstick, standing near the silent auction tables in a couture gown my family money probably helped subsidize. She didn't hug me. What are you doing here? I was invited. By who? Her tone implied I'd crashed. Before I answered, Dr. Chin appeared beside me like a ghost in silk. Is this your sister? She asked calmly. Ashley's whole demeanor shifted like someone flipping a switch. Yes. Hand out fake polished charm. I'm Ashley Chin, pre-med at Northwestern. I've been following your research. Your cerebrovascular outcomes work is brilliant. Dr. Chin shook her hand. No smile. Thank you. And you've been supporting Maya during her treatment, I assume. Ashley gave a soft scoff, that tiny, condescending little laugh she uses when she wants to belittle something. Well, you know Maya. She's always been theatrical about health stuff. We try not to encourage it. The air chilled, like someone opened a freezer. Theatrical? Dr. Chin's voice was almost soundless. I mean, she's fine now, right? Ashley said, regaining smug confidence. It was just headaches and a few small surgeries. Nothing catastrophic. I felt my stomach knot. Even here. Even this night. She could not stop. Small surgeries, Dr. Chin repeated, volume dead even. Right, Ashley said. I'm not trashing her or anything. But Maya tends to blow things out of proportion. Always has. She liked attention as a kid. You know how some people are. People had fully stopped talking now. A retired neurosurgeon was inching closer. A board member paused his conversation mid-sentence. Ashley, I whispered. Can we not? It's fine, she waved me off. Dr. Chin gets it. She deals with patients who overreact constantly. Honestly, between us, Maya loves the sympathy. She stretched this whole saga for over a year. Meanwhile, I'm actually working toward becoming a real doctor. Making a real difference. The room felt absolutely still. Dr. Chin changed. Her posture, her face, her temperature. Miss Chun, she said. Her voice cut like a scalpel. You are telling me your siblings' 3 craniotomies were insignificant? Ashley's throat bobbed. Well, I mean... And you believe, Dr. Chin continued, now audibly enough to command the entire semicircle forming around us, that a brain tumor encasing the middle cerebral artery is not critical? I didn't say. Let me educate you, Dr. Chin said, and she wasn't speaking to Ashley anymore. She was speaking to the room. You're pre-med, so you should comprehend this. Your sister had a grade 2 astrocytoma with atypical histology. Do you understand the mortality curve on that? Ashley's face drained of color. It means, Dr. Chin said, her tone resonant, that without aggressive intervention, your sister had roughly 6 months before suffering catastrophic stroke or transtentorial herniation. Are you familiar with the term herniation? Yes, Ashley barely whispered. Then you know it is fatal. Dr. Chin stepped closer. Your sister underwent 3 separate open cranial resections. The first lasted 12 hours. The neoplasm was so interwoven with critical vasculature that she was awake for 4 hours of mapping to preserve eloquent cortex. Awake, skull open, helping us preserve her speech and motor function. And you call that nothing? More people encircled. I saw donors. I saw senior attendings. Everyone staring at Ashley. The second operation, Dr. Chin went on, merciless, was complicated by intraoperative hemorrhage. We almost lost her. I physically compressed a ruptured perforator with my hands while my resident called for emergent support. She needed 4 units of blood. 3 days in neuro ICU. Ashley's voice cracked, a tiny broken sound. I didn't know. Ashley tried to defend herself. You didn't know because you didn't ask, Dr. Chin answered flatly. You never checked in. You never called. I'm aware of this because Maya listed me as her emergency contact for all 3 operations. Not you. Not your mother. Not your father. Me. A physician she had known less than 12 months proved to be more dependable than her own blood. Ashley was openly weeping now, mascara streaks cutting down her cheeks. Guests murmured. I noticed someone holding up their phone, recording. The 3rd craniotomy, Dr. Chin continued, took place 3 weeks ago. Maya has a 6-inch surgical incision that is still healing. She now lives with permanent vestibular dysfunction. She battles chronic pain that rips her out of sleep. She swallows 12 medications a day. She attends physical therapy 3 times per week. She developed seizure disorder as a result of the neurosurgical complications. She wears a medic alert bracelet in case she convulses in public. She motioned toward me. I reached up, parted my hair slowly, revealing the pink, irritated scar. The room collectively inhaled. This, Dr. Chin said, pointing at me with controlled rage, this is what you dismiss as nothing major. Maya endured 3 brain surgeries. She maintains employment while living with chronic neurological disease. She lives independently because her own family vanished when she needed support most. And you have the nerve to attend a hospital charity event, surrounded by donors who literally fund care for patients like your sister, and claim she is exaggerating for attention. I'm sorry, Ashley sobbed. I didn't realize. No. Dr. Chin cut her off, her voice like steel. You didn't want to realize. That is not ignorance. That is refusal. At that moment, Dr. Richard Morrison, chief of surgery, whom I'd only met about an hour earlier, stepped forward. Ashley, you're the Northwestern pre-med student, correct? Ashley nodded, face drained of color. Yes, sir. I sat on the committee for the summer research fellowship. We reviewed your application. Ashley blinked, frozen. You wrote in your personal essay about wanting to pursue medicine because you claimed you knew the patient perspective due to your sister's brain tumor, he said. His tone was arctic. You used her diagnosis, these supposedly small procedures, as emotional leverage for your resume. I was trying to show empathy, Ashley managed. You exploited her suffering to enhance your CV, Morrison replied, cutting her off, while mocking her condition behind closed doors. That is not empathy. That is predatory. He pulled out his phone. I'll be notifying Northwestern admissions tomorrow. They should be aware of the type of candidate they are considering. No, please. Ashley reached toward him, but he stepped back. You are not suited for this calling, he said. Medicine demands humanity. You have none. Dr. Chin turned to me. Maya, I owe you an apology. I should have screened the invite list. I did not expect your relatives to show up. It's fine, I whispered, trembling. It is not fine, she said. But what matters is this. Every person in this room now knows the truth. Resolution. The clip exploded online. Someone in the audience at the gala had filmed Dr. Chen's entire response and uploaded it with the caption, Neurosurgeon obliterates student who calls her own sister's brain surgeries minor. Within 2 days, it passed 15 million views. People tracked down Ashley's Instagram. They scrolled through every post and uncovered perfectly curated captions about my medical recovery, written to make her look like the devoted, emotionally present sister. When compared to her dismissive comments captured on video, the hypocrisy was glaring. Northwestern's pre-med division issued a statement. We do not tolerate dishonesty in applications, nor do we excuse callousness toward patients. Her admission was revoked. Every school she had interviewed at sent thank you, but no letters instantly. Someone even made a side-by-side edit. Ashley's sympathy bait Instagram post on the left, the gala speech on the right. No dean wanted that scandal attached to their institution. Then my phone rang. My parents, for the first time in 3 months. How could you humiliate your sister like this? My mother snapped. I didn't do anything, I answered. Ashley humiliated herself. She's lost everything, she cried. She destroyed her own future, I said. She used my real medical trauma as a prop for her applications, then called me dramatic in public. We need you to fix this, my father said. You need to post that it was a misunderstanding. Say Ashley supported you. No, I said. Clearly. Cleanly. Finally. I don't think he expected that. I had never told them no before. I'm done protecting this family's image, I said. At the fundraiser, she dismissed my brain operations like they were routine stitches. I was standing there with stitches still on my scalp. Dr. Chen simply corrected the lie. If Ashley can't face the result of her own words, that is not my burden. You're selfish, my mother hissed. Family stands by each other. You're absolutely right, I said. Where were you during any one of those 3 surgeries? Who picked me up from the hospital? Who even sat with me? They went silent. I paid my own medical bills. I took Ubers to neurosurgery. I spent ICU days alone. I learned to walk again alone. And you told people I was exaggerating. So don't lecture me about loyalty. If you don't fix this, my father said, you are no longer part of this family. Great, I replied, and I hung up. Their monthly check stopped. I blocked their numbers. I updated my emergency contacts, Dr. Chen and my physical therapist. Ashley's pre-med advisor held a formal ethics review and removed her from the program. The free clinic she volunteered at gone. Her follower count plunged from 50,000 to 12,000, most of them just sticking around to criticize her. Meanwhile, Dr. Chen personally invited me to speak at a patient advocacy conference. Harrison's Medical Publishing sent a contract offer, a full neuroanatomy textbook by me. The hospital board appointed me to their patient advisory panel. 6 months after the gala, I attended a medical illustration convention in Boston. During the keynote, the presenter pulled up one of my drawings to demonstrate a rare surgical approach. This piece, he told 800 surgeons, is by Maya Chen. Some of you may recall her story. 3 brain surgeries, continued working the whole time. Her visuals have changed how we teach complex anatomy. The room applauded. I sat in the very last row, eyes wet, not from grief, but from finally being acknowledged for what I survived and what I built. My phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. This is Ashley. Can we talk? I deleted it. I lived through 3 craniotomies. I learned to walk again. I rebuilt my career from the ground up, totally without my family. I no longer needed their approval. The people who mattered, my physicians, my colleagues, my genuine friends, they always knew the truth. That was enough.